Welcome to the Billionaire Mindset, your 30-day journey to thinking like a billionaire. Now you can just watch this video, or if you want to sign up for the entire series for free and get the bonus PDF companion calendar, check the link in the description below. Today is day 28, and we're going to learn how you can have discipline like a billionaire. Enjoy.
I think of these things as just there's a certain amount of time, and within that time you want the best net outcome. So for all the set of actions that you can do, there's going to be some of which will fail, some of which will succeed, and you want the net useful output of your set of actions to be the highest. I have to use a baseball analogy. Baseball, they don't let you just sit there and wait for the perfect pitch until you get a real easy one. They can give you 3 shots. And the third one, they say, okay, now you get off they go back to put somebody else up there. So your 3 strikes on the baseball. Not on bat anymore. So what you're really looking for is what's the batting average? How you doing on score? And just there's going to be some amount of failure, but you want your net output, net useful output to be maximized. Failure is essentially irrelevant unless it is catastrophic.
Bit better now.
You don't need 150 IQ to do what I do, thank God. You don't need 140, you don't need 135. You may need 115 or something like that. But you do need discipline. You have to wait until you see the fat pitch to swing at. Because investing is a no-called strike game. If I were a baseball player and I only like pitches 2 inches above my navel, some guy could learn that and he could pitch me, 3 or 4 inches below that, and I get called out on strikes because I never find a pitch I like. You can get called out on strikes in baseball. You have to swing at pitches that you don't even necessarily like, particularly after the count gets to 2 strikes. In business, you don't have to swing at anything. You can sit there and the paper says General Motors at 68, or it says General Electric at 115, or it says General Dynamics at 63. And if you don't like those prices, you don't have to swing. You can wait there day after day after day after day, and there are no called strikes. Now, when you swing, when you decide to buy something, then, if you swing and miss, it's a strike. But it's a marvelous game to be in because there are no called strikes, and you can simply wait for that one time in a month or 6 months or a year or 2 or 3 years when you really know what you're doing, where you like the price, where you like the people running the business, and then you swing, and you only need a few swings in your lifetime.
Be stubborn on vision and flexible on details. You really can't accomplish anything important if you're not stubborn on vision, because things that are important take a long time. They take teams. You can't do it by yourself, and so you really need to have a crisp idea of the vision. You need to stay incredibly relentless on that vision, but you need to be flexible on the details because you've got to be experimental to accomplish anything important. And that means you're going to be wrong a lot. And so you're going to try something on your way to that vision, and that's going to be the wrong thing, the wrong decision. You're going to have to back up, take a little course correction, and try again. And so you cannot be stubborn on the details. You have to be flexible on the details.
What is your decision-making process or thinking when it comes to investing your time, your money, your energy?
Sure. It's very important because time is the most valuable thing you have. Is one, make sure where you're putting your time and energy is something you want to do, not just because you're exploring with people you don't like or a business you don't like or a situation you don't like. Time is so valuable. Try and speak, if you're speaking to people or a situation, to people you feel there's hope for that you could do something with to do something great, not just make money. Whenever you go into business or in a relationship with someone just to make money, then it means you've already decided to take a portion of your time to make these papers that are backed up by nothing but will buy stuff. Call it a possession. We have all these great possessions. Well, if you have these great possessions, could you give them away? If you had any possession, you could give it away. Hey, great, it was a possession, and you moved on. If you can't give that possession away to somebody, just give it away. Then it possesses you.
I started my first business when I was 12. I was buying and selling baseball cards, buying and selling stamps, anything I could do to make money, I was hustling and trying to do. So I was into business, but I not so much where it was all my friends were into it with me, so they wouldn't know.
Baseball cards.
Yeah, baseball cards, you name it. I mean, I grew up in Pittsburgh, and so I would, probably even less than 12 years old, I would, go out and buy a bunch of baseball cards that I collected, and I would package, I would say, okay, you're guaranteed to have a Pittsburgh Pirate in this package, and I would charge 3 times as much, and I'd set up on this park bench down in the park down in Scott Township where I grew up, and I'd have these little sales, and it was great. I made money, and I mean, it was, and I learned as much about business when I was 9, 10, and 12 as I learned any other time.
Fashion is changing so fast. And a competition is coming up every day with all these young designers. What has kept you going forward like this?
You just somehow, I've always admired longevity. I've admired people that were not of the only moment, people that can carry it on. There are actors, there are musicians, there are people that came up in rock and roll, and the great ones stayed. Frank Sinatra lasted, the whole pile of names that, Paul McCartney and the Beatles, they didn't last for 5 years or 10 years, they lasted for 40 years. I admired longevity, and I admired consistency. And I admire the individuality of holding your own, and standing and fighting for what you believe in. And I think if there's anything that I really believe in is that. And what made me keep going, I didn't get great reviews every year. People didn't just say you're wonderful. In fact, they couldn't care less, Ralph Lauren, but the consumer loved Ralph Lauren. It's not the fashion editor.
But were there moments that you felt really, exhausted, tired of everything, with this tedious, all the details coming up to you? Or a moment when you thought, I could be out, no new ideas coming to me anymore? Were there those moments?
No.
Never?
No. There are moments when I always thought what I was doing was what I loved. I tried to do what I love.
So basically you're saying you have never been tired of this?
Sure,
But the capability to adapt to the changes of people's taste, desire, lifestyle.
I'm competitive. I love competition, and I love what I'm doing. And I love the fact that I'm not following. If I started to follow, then I would quit. So what's motivated me is newness, is energy to change, the awareness that things move on. Maybe because I have a family, young people, always, and in my company, I listen to people, just like the man that didn't listen to me when I wanted to get another job in the Thai business. I don't want to make that mistake. And so I'm inspired by young people. I'm inspired by newness. I'm inspired by the challenge of building a business that no one ever built before. It's not only the artistic part of it, it's the excitement of what can I do that I haven't done before.
What were some of the most challenging moments in your career?
Well, I had, when I started out and made the ties and shirts, I started to become successful. It was after about 10 years, I had started my company by borrowing $50,000 from another person in the industry. He lent me the $50,000, he became my partner. And so all of a sudden we were growing, and all of a sudden I got a phone call from a banker and said, Mr. Lauren, your bills are not being paid on time. And I had a team thinking they were doing all the right things. And all of a sudden I found that I was in trouble financially because I was taking on too many things and no one told me to stop. And I was being applauded for many ways, but on some levels, on the financial level, I was not being applauded. And one of the bankers came to me and said, Ralph, you're almost out of business. What are you going to do?
That was 10 years after you started?
That was about 10 years after I started. But I remember the pain. And I took everything I had saved, which was $100,000, and I put it back in the company. $100,000 was all I had left. And I decided to license some of the brands and have some money coming in. And so it gave me a shot to go out and hire better people. And so that was a very important moment of seeing success in terms of artistic success, but failure in terms of a company that could go wrong in its finances. And that was a very important time. And so that was a very major moment in my life. I've had those every 5 years. I had a show where I remember doing a fashion show, and the clothes weren't ready, and the tailors were ironing or sewing the clothes as the girl is about to walk out the runway.
What did you figure out? What happened to make it so late? Too many things at hand.
Of not getting the right professionals, not planning well, not thinking you got it going, and all of a sudden, and I said to myself, as I was walking on Broadway, not knowing where I was going, I said, this is never going to happen again.
Everything you try to do is already done. So when I figured that out, oh, what I'm putting out is what's coming back, let me get real clear about what it is I'm putting out. Real clear. So I read a book about 1989 called Seed of the Soul. And in that book, Gary Zukav talked about the laws of karma, of the laws of cause and effect, the third law of motion. And in that book, he talked about how your intention is always one with the law. Meaning, before you even think about a thing, you have an intention for the thing. And that the intention is going to determine the outcome. That's why the same people can go to the same church service and somebody walk down the aisle just to be seen to put some money in the church, and somebody else who just goes and just has a little bit to offer. The intention with which you give, the intention with which you serve determines the outcome. So when I figured that out, I went, whoa. I changed everything I did on my show. I called in the producers and I said, from this day forward, I will no longer be speaking to the KKK. I will no longer be speaking to people who are fighting each other in a way that it is damaging to the character of myself and other people who watch. From this day forward, I am only going to do intentional television.
I learned my management skill. One day I was talking to the famous general of the United States. He was talking to a group of people, say, how do you discipline your lieutenant? He's a general. The guy who lead the first Iraq war. What's his name?
Pauline Cole.
Yeah, Pauline Cole.
Yes.
He said, you as a leader, you have to get up early before the lieutenant. You have to sleep before the lieutenant, late before, after the lieutenant. You have to eat before after the lieutenant to eat. But if you have a problem with the lieutenant, what are you going to do? Fix him, remove him, and fire him. I told many people when they joined Alibaba, I say, guys, I don't know fortunate or unfortunate to join Alibaba. We work much longer than the others, much harder. We had more problems than most of the companies. If you can survive in Alibaba, you can survive at any company in the world because life is tough.
I apologize in advance for the sports reference, but I would say get in the weight room of life. What do you do in a weight room if you're an athlete or a kind of retired senior citizen like me? You prepare. You prepare. You build new capabilities. You get stronger. You get faster. You figure out how to get leverage. And yet in your business lives, those are precisely the right messages. One of the things that I think has made Microsoft the company that it is today is that we weren't afraid to get in the weight room. In the late 80s, we had plenty of customers, investors tell us we would, quote, never be an enterprise company. Today, many people think the bulk of the $350 billion of value in Microsoft is in our enterprise business. We weren't afraid to sit there even before we had it figured out and just work to prepare, to get better, to build new capabilities. And whether we're talking about what you need to do for your startup, for the hospital that you join, or for yourself personally, you have to build new capabilities, new quickness, and new leverage.
I feel like hustle is the willingness to work really, really hard, and then also your willingness to get the job done, like kind of navigating and doing what it takes. And so there's so much about my journey where I was like, I am not gonna let the outcome or my success be contingent on other people. As much as I can control it, help it, navigate it, I'm going to. So yeah, in the beginning, especially still now, I mean, obviously I'm hustling. I'm like at this where I am now, and I'm running around the airport asking people to follow me on Instagram, you know? I just feel like it's innate in me also to a degree. But in the beginning, like there's a few examples that come to mind. You mentioned that I called my friends and asked them to go buy Spanx, and I wrote everybody checks and sent them a check because I needed to drive momentum, and I had no money to advertise. So I'm like, this product's gonna sit on the shelf, so I needed to get people to go in and buy it. I also, when I went into the stores, I realized very quickly that my product was in the sleepiest part of the department store. It was back in the corner and nobody was going there. So then I immediately went to Target and I bought envelope dividers that you put on your home desk, and I ran around Neiman Marcus and put them at every register, and I put Spanx in them, and then I walked away. And Neiman's has like impeccable visual rules and regulations, and I did that because I had to get my product out of the department. And because I did that, women in shoes started buying Spanx, and women in contemporary, and those decisions made such a big difference. And by the time somebody figured out that nobody else had approved it, because everybody thought somebody else approved it, it was so successful that the head of Neiman's was like, whatever this girl's doing, let her keep doing it.
Being an entrepreneur isn't just a job title. It isn't just about starting a company. It's about a state of mind. It's about seeing connections others can't, seizing opportunities others won't, and forging new directions that others haven't. It's about being entrepreneurial wherever you are and in whatever you do. It's about having the courage to give into a passion for an idea that makes your heart race. And if it doesn't scare you, the idea isn't big enough. Here's what I've learned. We may live in an age of instant messaging, instant gratification, and Instagram, but there is no way to short-circuit the path to success. It takes hard work, tenacity, and a lot of patience. There are many things you can do overnight. You can write a decent paper, you can put finishing touches on a fashion show. I hear you can even have a pretty good time at Roger's Pub. But there is no such thing as an overnight success. It is a myth that glosses over what being an entrepreneur is all about. As Biz Stone, one of the founders of Twitter, has put it, timing, perseverance, and 10 years of really hard work will eventually make you look like an overnight success.
I have to give something up. There has to be a price to pay. And again, I'm not suggesting that I know everything. I'm not suggesting that this is right for you. I am suggesting that in my life, at 58 years old, I know that I have to give something up. Okay, I've always had to give something up. So I'm always right. I'm looking at what are the habits that I've gotten into now. Okay, when I was 25 years old, when I was 24 years old, I was smoking weed every day, every day, man. Woke up to the weed, man. I would smoke the weed so I didn't do the other stuff. Okay, I'm drinking on the weekends. I'm going out with the boys. I'm wrecking cars. I'm sleeping with everybody. You know, well, look, man, I made a list of those things. I don't do those things today, okay? I don't do any of that stuff today. But what other bad habits am I doing today that's throwing me off? I need to be aware of the enemy, okay? It's called the enemy, okay? The enemy ain't a person. The enemy ends up being people when you ignore the enemy at home.
Man, what I do is I put dates. I get dates. I was telling the mentors this. I get dates and I put money on these dates. Okay, I make investments that pull me forward. They force me to go to the date. Every one of you in the room did this, by the way. You did it on this event right here. Congratulations. You put some money here, then you put some airfare. How many of you got a couple $1,000s invested in this event already? In airfare. Okay, you got, I don't know, $500, $600, $700, $800 invested in hotels, Ubers, meals, probably got $3,000 invested in this. It pulled you forward, right? Okay, now what you need is you need another one right here, another one here, another one here, and another one here. Just keep adding as many as you can to keep pulling you to the next event. You know, last night the Astros won. I'm like, damn, I wonder if I could get that thing tonight. I wonder if I could get to that thing tonight. I wonder if it'd be possible to get to that thing. I could go to that last game. I get excited for a second. Oh, I'd have to get back tomorrow morning. I got a 10 o'clock. I got a 10 o'clock one-on-one coaching at 10 a.m. How do I get to Washington, D.C.? Finish with you guys today, okay? Get to D.C. tonight, watch the game, fly back this morning, and make my 10 a.m. You see what I'm saying? I have things pulling me forward. You need that in your relationship, too. You need it in your business, and you need it for your people. Your people need to know, hey, but you going here? Hey, you're going here, and you're going to that thing. What are we doing there? You're getting educated. That's why that daily meeting every day with my people that Todd was talking about, every day they're doing that, every single day. Okay, and when people quit doing it, we know something's wrong. At the very least, discipline's now out of the organization. The ethics are out of the organization. The target was to educate every day. It's out. So it's either a manager, right? Or it's the people. Hey, why aren't you training anymore? Well, good. You want to quit? Or you already have?
You need an accountability partner. You need someone that you share your goals with that will hold you accountable. A strong person, somebody you respect, a mentor, a guide, someone that you don't want to disappoint or let down. Pick someone that you can have with you on your side that you can share as often as you need to. That your goals are this, your actions need to be that, and you did or didn't handle those things, okay? And have somebody in your life where they'll hold you accountable and say, look, come on, man, you're better than this. Let's go do this. I've been using mentors my entire life. A lot of people don't know this. At the age of 25, I had a mentor that met with me every single day to check on me. Every day. I made commitments every day. That person met with me every day. When I got into a sales game, I was 26, 27 years old. I met with a guy every day to work with me on my sales game. Every day he held me accountable. How many calls I made, how much training I did, every day. I have had accountability coaches and mentors for 37 years. Holding my hand, holding me accountable, at my back, pushing me when I needed to push, pulling me when I needed to be pulled.
If you think you're going to build a brand because you create one great video, it ain't gonna happen.
So you need to create a lot of content.
One masterpiece. Somebody said the other day, I said, you post that video? He's like, it's not ready yet. I said, you know what? A video posted's better than a video that's perfect.
True.
Post the video. I don't need it to be perfect. Nobody's asking for perfect. Okay, so this is why TVs are dying. Because the production on a TV show takes so long that by the time the TV show comes out, everybody's lost interest in it and they're doing something else. Exactly. I mean, we have viewership on some of our channels, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, or Twitter, or LinkedIn, or Snapchat. We have viewership higher than some TV channels in America that spent billions of dollars. While they're planning
writing scripts, we're producing content.
You're just broadcasting, you know?
We broadcast, okay? And then so you can't, one masterpiece will not beat 10,000 pieces of content. So number one. Number two, you need to post frequently enough to where you almost annoy your audience. Okay, you actually have to get them through the annoying part. Like, oh, he posted too much. He's posted too much. You need to post just a little bit more, so they're like, oh wow, this guy's. I can trust him now. On the other side of the annoying is I can trust him to post. Okay. Then the third thing is you got to keep the content entertaining and interesting. So you're not going to know how to do that because you post once or twice. And whatever you're doing this year, probably 3 or 4 or 5 years from now, you're going to look back and say, golly, that was garbage. It's going to change, I promise you. So, I've posted, 6,000 videos on YouTube. I don't know what I posted on Instagram, a bunch. A couple thousand posts on Instagram. I don't know what I'm doing most of the time. So just so everybody knows, there is no schedule. There's no plan. There's a commitment, not a plan. So the commitment is, hey, we are going to tell the world, show the world what we're doing. Now, whether that's me on my jet or me just buying a new car or me with my family, I've been ridiculed for all those things. He's using his kids for Instagram. I said, I didn't bring my kid to the live show. Okay, my kid walked in while I was doing a show at 9 o'clock at night because she woke up. I'm not going to stop the show because my kid walks in my life any more than I'm going to stop my life because my kid walks into my life.
How do you control? How do you discipline? How do you start monitoring what you're saying to yourself? I can't find the right girl. I can't find the right guy. Marriage is hard. I'm broke, I'm poor. It's going to be hard if you don't change your mind. You got to change the way you think. And the way to change the way you think, first of all, the one way is to start disciplining yourself. Catch yourself every time you say, I don't have time, say, hey, I create time. Every time you say, I don't have money, I create money. Literally like talking to yourself, hey, I am a millionaire. So if you're broke right now, quit saying I am broke and start saying what you want. Where are you going? It's not complicated. You want to get rich? I got rich. You want to get rich? You can. Nothing and no one stopping you from doing that but the information in your head.
My first book I wrote was called Sell or Be Sold. It took 3 hours to write that book. It was right after the economy collapsed, which is part of what I want to share with you today. The economy just collapsed in America. I owned 3 businesses at the time. We lived in Los Angeles, California. I was just having a baby, our first baby. I was 51 years old at the time. And the first baby was on the way. Had 3 companies. I was making a little money, had a few dollars in the bank. My cars are paid for. I had this freaking great house in Los Angeles. It was Lionel Richie's house. And me and Ben Affleck were bidding on it. And he bitched out on himself. I bought the house and I had the life, okay? So what I want to talk to you about today is having the life. And the economy collapsed. When Lehman collapsed, the life that I thought I had was put at risk. So you're in this room because you're a top producer. And I'm going to tell you that one of the things that to me is the most difficult thing in my entire career is becoming a top producer. Because the moment you become a top producer, you become susceptible to thinking you have the life. I grew up in a little town in Louisiana, a little small town, about 60,000 people. You probably hear the accent. I grew up in a middle class family. My dad died when I was 10 years old. My mother raised us. And my mother constantly told me how proud I should be of myself. How many of you got a mother like that? You should be so proud of yourself, okay? Every time, my mom was my best friend, and every time I would have a success, it didn't matter whether I was 18 years old or 48 years old. Anytime I had a success, she was the first person I called. I wouldn't call my girlfriend, wouldn't call my wife, wouldn't call any of the people that were closest to me. I'd call my mom and say, Mom, you never believe I just bought a real estate deal. I started this company. I bought my first real estate deal. It's 38 units. It's $4 million. And she'd be like, that's awesome.
I love you just the way you are. And I'm like, okay, thanks. She told me that 1,000 times. How many of you had a parent tell you, I love you? That's great. You made 160 grand last year. But I love you just the way you are. How many hear that? Okay, that's right out of the 10X rule. I don't know if you know that. That's right out of the 4 actions. Anybody know what action it is? Average, I'm doing well. Okay, there's 4 levels of action. Number 1 is, I do nothing. If I rewrote this book, I would take that out. That's actually impossible. To do nothing at all is impossible. Try doing it right now. To do nothing means you had to make a decision to do something and not do it. This is actually not true. I wouldn't put it in the book if I rewrote it. The second level of action is to retreat. This is what most people do, by the way. How many had a commitment to work out today and didn't? Okay, I was up late. Whatever, you came up with whatever reason, I'm gonna make the call. By the way, any retreat in life, any single retreat is a discipline and a commitment to retreat when it matters. So every time you make a decision, you just need to be aware that what are you doing here, okay? There's only 4 things you can do in any given day, right? You could do nothing, you could retreat, or you could do this, average. Now I know you guys are being told that you're the top. You're the top. You're the best. You made it to Miami. But I'm just going to tell you right now, ain't not a person in this room is above number 3. No, I'm not there. Okay, and I know how much I'm grinding every day, how much I'm pushing every day, how many hours I put into a day. What's the maximum number of hours you can do in a day? Not if you add people. If you added people, you got to think beyond the 24th thing. Once you guys get committed, then you will come up with solutions outside the physical universe. Okay, you're already doing that. Your space is bizarre. Okay, here there's a bunch of people in the room that like I don't know anything about technology. I'm 61 years old. I was born in 1958. I am supposed to be outside of that moment of technology. Yet I'm probably one of the top 5 social media people in the world today. Banging on Instagram and Snapchat and LinkedIn and Google Plus that'll go away. Using all these mechanisms to try to get attention so that I can operate at this level 10X thing, this massive level that is always changing, by the way. You can't 10X something. People are like, man, I'd write the book. If I wrote the book, I'd write it 11X. I'm like, that's because you don't understand 10X, dude. 10X is a multiplier. It's 10X, which is 100. Okay? So what I did when Lehman collapsed, I wrote the 10X rule. And I wrote the book because I realized I had done something wrong. That book was written for me. And the reason, when I closed the book, the reason I was like, whatever, I had figured out what I had done wrong, okay? I had to embrace the idea that $3 or $4 million in a bank and a house paid for and 2 cars and a marriage, and I got it better than everybody else. And my mama loves me just the way I am, was all this middle class. In America, the middle class, it is the sleeping chamber on planet Earth. Okay, people come here, they come from India and China, come to here to get a middle class. Dude, I don't want anything to do with this. Okay, you're middle class, you will not change the world. You might change your house. You might change the education your little kids get, okay? They get to go to Texas A&M, big deal, right? He told me that he went to Texas. I said, oh, that had to screw you up bad, just going to college. Why? Because what do they manufacture in college? They manufacture average people at college. So I want to challenge you today, okay? I want to challenge you today to start thinking, hey, wait a minute, am I even a top producer? How did that get created for this room? What number did you have to hit to get in this room? What's the number, 1 million? Who made that number up? Was that Bob? I'm Bob. Bob's sitting around, what can we do? Okay? Huh? Did he make the number 1 million up? Why wasn't it 1,100,110,111? Instead, because he got lazy. 1 million is a lazy number. How many of you would agree with that? It's a lazy number, dude. Anything that ends in a 0 is lazy. Come on, how about some creativity, right? How about a little creativity when you're
making decisions in your life. Like, what's a good income level for this room? Let's say we don't share this anywhere outside this room. What would be a real number? You guys are gonna hire me. What's a real number that I can make in this room? Y'all can talk to me. Now, damn, I will not hurt you, okay? What's a number? 400 grand. Okay, now why did we come up with that number? Because I don't know how you guys could even live on that number. If I made 400 grand a year, I would be embarrassed with myself as a husband, a father, basically as a human being. 400 grand. How do you make sense of $35,000 a month? You guys haven't done the math. You have not done the math because you cannot live on 400 grand a year. And if you think you can live on 400 grand a year, I might have to go back and add number one. Nothing. Anybody can make 400 grand a year. All you got to do is show up. Okay. Now I don't know if I'm right or wrong. You guys don't need to agree with me. I've already been paid my fee. Okay. I am not here to satisfy you. I am not here so you like, oh, Grant, I like him. I don't care if you like me or not, man. I want to move a handful of people in the room to go from 400 grand a year to start thinking about how do I make 4 million? Big boy right over here popping out. What'd you make last year? What'd you gross last year? 2.7. How does anybody live on $2.7 million a year? You need to make it impossible, dude. I can't, my plane eats $2.7 million a year. This dude needs to think different. He's running out of time, man. You guys all in the room, man, you're running out of time. You're in a space that is so frothy with opportunity, it's unbelievable. You're making sense of less than you can get. This is my mama. My mama saying, I love you, boy, just the way you are. Mama, I made $10 million on one deal. That's great. But son, I love you just the way you are. I'm like, I don't love me just the way I am. Because I'm doing deals where I know I could make 100. Okay, how many of you in the room are operating below your potential? Let me see a hand. If you know you're operating below your potential, man, please tell me you're operating. How many of you, let me see a hand again, if you're operating below your potential? Okay, your finances should indicate that. Your finances are a way to tell the truth about who you are, your space. Like if you're an Uber driver and you're making $2.7 million a year, pat on the back. You're in this space making $2.7 million a year? Come on, man. Your company's doing what, $2 billion? $2 billion, and you guys aren't getting it all. Would you say that you're not getting it all? We got a lot of room. A lot of room. He's telling me he's in the first innings of his game. So I'm like, hey, what do I need to do? Let's say 400 is the number, then I'm gonna take this and I'm just gonna 10X that, and I'm gonna build a business plan for $4 million. And I'm gonna quit thinking that I gotta do a 4-minute mile. I'm gonna quit thinking about the physical universe. What can I do to produce $4 million worth of income? Is it here? Is it outside of here? Is it here and outside of here? How many customers would I need? This is what my goal for you today is, to leave here and say, dude, I ain't satisfied. Okay? I wanna raise the numbers on this room. So the next time there's 75 people here and everybody adds a 0 to your income. Oh, by the way, if you love yourself at 400 grand, mama, if you love your son just the way he is at 400, would you love me a little more if I add a 0? No, she couldn't love me anymore. It wasn't up to her to love me. It was up to me to love what I'm doing every day, right? You guys are showing up, you're working your ass off every day, right or wrong? How many of you making calls every day? You're like, I do not want to make this call, and you make it anyway. Good, then get paid for it. Get paid some real money for it, man. Okay? Get paid some real money, just add a 0. How many calls would I have to make? Is this even possible? He's doing part of it. He told me he's not tapped into all of it. He's hitting 70% of that number. If everybody walked out of here and said, hey, I'm gonna build a $4 million plan. I'm gonna tell you a little game I play. I got 14 little companies. I run 14 little companies while I'm doing deals, while I'm speaking to you today, right? I'm still running them in my head right now. I got them all open. I got browsers open all over the place. Counselor said, you got ADD. I said, I ain't got ADD. I don't know how to add. I multiply. I'm done adding. I'm done adding a customer. I want to multiply customers. I don't want to add orders. I want to multiply my orders, okay? I consider myself a decent salesperson. But it doesn't matter if you're a great salesperson. If you don't add business to the sale, if you don't become a business person, you can't build out zeros.
Now I've got some special bonus clips that I think you're going to enjoy. But before that, it's time for the Billionaire Mindset question of the day. I want to know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week? Also, if you've already got your Billionaire Mindset Companion PDF calendar, get ready for another amazing video tomorrow. Or if you don't have it yet, you can get it for free in the first line of the description below. And if you're enjoying this Billionaire Mindset series, give me a hashtag Billionaire Mindset in the comments below so I can celebrate you. The mind is getting in your own way. If you want to lose weight, you know how to do it. You got to eat less, you got to work out more, you will lose weight. Why are you not doing it? Self-discipline. Your mind is getting in your way. But I see self-discipline as a positive. I think self-discipline has a really negative connotation a lot of times. I think in a lot of the messages that people are putting out, it comes across as this really negative thing. Like, you have to force yourself to do all of the stuff that you really hate and it's gonna suck, but you have to keep going. You gotta do it. You gotta be disciplined. If you're not disciplined, you suck. Everything's terrible. It just comes across as this really negative, forcing yourself to do stuff that doesn't resonate with me. I see self-discipline as a really positive thing. I think it's really helpful. I think it's amazing and beautiful and golden. Let's look at weight as an example. I am the lowest weight that I've been all year. I'm on a routine. It's working. The specific strategies that don't really matter. 1, intermittent fasting. So I'll only have water and a coffee until noon, and then after that I'll start eating. I do that 7 days a week. I run for 30 minutes. Usually at night while I'm watching a show with my wife, 7 days a week. And then 6 days a week, I'll restrict my calories, not really forcing myself not to eat food, just not eating Doritos and not eating junk, right? Eating healthy food 6 days a week. And then Saturdays I get to do what I want. 6 days a week. Those are the strategies that I use. It may seem like torture, but it's not. And the thing that helps me get through it is the mindset, because the positive of all of this is I'm losing weight. I'm feeling great. I'm making progress. I'm super pumped that I'm getting closer to my goal. I feel amazing about myself. So I think self-discipline, usually it seems to focus just on the actions that you just have to grind your way through it without enough focus on the mission of what you're trying to accomplish and how beautiful and wonderful that is. And so yes, some of it might suck, right? But you're moving towards something amazing and beautiful. So I think people just focus too much on the negative part of it. And if you force yourself to do something that you hate, you can only do it for so long before you give up. If you can't tie it into the bigger picture of what you're trying to accomplish, then you will give up and you will quit and you will feel terrible. And then I think having other people yell at you about how you need to have self-discipline doesn't actually help. I think it actually makes it worse, because you develop the identity for yourself of, I don't have any self-discipline. You can build it. It's not that difficult to do. In my perspective, in my view, all you need to do is make sure that you have a really strong why. Make sure that you have an outcome that you are really looking forward to and you love doing. And then the process itself, how do you make the process as enjoyable as possible? How do you make the process just not absolutely suck every single day going in, right? If you figure that out, then you win. At the end of the day, this is a mindset game. Every single goal that you want to accomplish is a mindset game. The thing that's holding you back is not your lack of knowledge. It's not your lack of creativity. It's your mindset. It's your perspective. It's your view. You can figure out the answer to any question quite easily. It doesn't mean you will execute it on it, because your mindset is broken. Nothing else. You already have everything you need to win. And so discipline is really important. I just try to tie it into some bigger picture thing that I'm trying to accomplish that is more important than any minor pain that I have to struggle through in the moment. And that's my perspective. There will be moments in your business where you will need to have superhuman strength to keep going, where it just demands everything from you, every single ounce that you have. But if you need to have superhuman energy every single day, you're gonna burn out and fail. So whenever I want to try something new, when I'm testing something new, I always eat into some of my reserves. It may mean to go off and do this new project, I'm going to sleep less or spend a little bit less time working on my book or a little less time working on my YouTube channel, right? You eat into these reserves, but that's not sustainable. If that's what you're doing constantly, you're going to be unhappy. You're going to burn out. You're going to fail. So quick example, Sadhguru came to Toronto. Sadhguru, if you don't know, he's a yogi. He's an Indian mystic. We did a top 10 on him. He then invited me to come to his event in Toronto and then do a one-on-one interview with him close to the Toronto airport, the island. It was amazing, great time. Out of that, he says, Evan, I want you to come to my multi-day event in the US. I want you to come, be a VIP guest there. It'd be amazing to have you. Awesome. But before you do that, you have to do my 7-day program where you have to meditate every day for 7 days. And I think it's an hour plus every day. I didn't have an hour a day. Right? I mean, that's not part of what I had in my calendar. Every hour in my calendar is accounted for. It doesn't mean I'm working all that time, but I might be spending time with my wife. I might be spending time with my son. Every hour is accounted for. And so to do this, I had to eat into some of my reserves. And so for that one, I asked Nina, I said, Nina, if you're going to come with me, you have to do this too. Do we want to spend our hour in the evening, instead of watching a show, instead of relaxing, to do this program for 7 days for meditation? And she said yes. And so here's the thing, we did it for 7 days and we went to the event. It was awesome. If it was something that we were going to continue, if we were going to meditate every day for an hour ongoing, then I'd have to readjust my schedule. Your success comes from your habits. You need to figure out what a balanced life looks like for you. Now, ultimately, I don't meditate an hour every night. I do some healing meditation for my neck every morning, but that habit didn't stick, and that's okay. So when you're testing new habits, testing new ideas, testing something for your business, or some emergency comes up that you have to deal with, it's going to tap into your reserves. You can't be running your business at full capacity already. You can't be running your business on zero, on empty, because that means there's no extra gear. That means that when life punches you in the face, you can't handle it. That means if you want to try or taste or test something else, you can't do it because you have no reserves, you have no battery, there's no more gas in the tank. And so that's where a lot of entrepreneurs live. That's where it's really troublesome. That's where a lot of entrepreneurs will end up burning out, failing, and crushing their dreams, because you're just running with no gas left in the tank. And so you can stretch yourself. I think that's normal. I think that's okay. I think life will hit you in the face. And just when you think it couldn't get worse, here comes another punch. That will happen. But it's making sure that you can live that balanced life, whatever balance looks like for you. So how do you handle these things when they come up? I'm going to give you a 3-step process that I think will help. Step number 1 is tell yourself it's the best. When life punches you in the face, when you get some crisis that happens, I try to run a no crisis business, but that is not always possible. Stuff will still happen, and if it's not in your business life, it'll happen in your personal life. When life punches you in the face and you can't get out of it and you have to address it, you have to deal with it, instead of living in the land of negativity and complaining and why me and despair and desperation, I flip it. I complain for 8.5 seconds and then say, this is the best. It's the best. This is the best thing ever. Because what it does is it puts you in a state of resourcefulness. It puts you in a place where you can then go and solve the problem. So I'm going to meditate for an hour a night. This is the best, right? I'm sitting next to the smelly dude on the airplane. It's the best. Because what's the alternative? You're stuck next to the smelly guy on the airplane. What's the alternative? The alternative is you sit on the plane and you're upset and you freak out and you complain and you're negative and grumpy and unhappy. And that's not going to allow you to create beautiful, amazing things for your business or your life. So when you're forced into that situation, when life hits you by surprise, tell yourself this is the best. This is your chance to prove to yourself and the world what you're actually made of. Step number 2 is if this is an ongoing problem, then you need to fix your life. Right? If it's every single day that this is happening, then you can't tell yourself it's the best every day, because it's the best allows you to tap into those reserves. It allows you to find that extra little bit of juice in the gas tank to keep going and solve this big problem. But if it's every day that you're stressed out to the max, that you're not sleeping, that you have no energy, that you're hating the work that you're doing, you need to fix your life. You can't get up every day and just tell yourself it's the best, because you're going to run out of energy. There's no reserves left. You will fail. You will disappoint yourself. You will just run out. And so you are what you consistently do. You look at your calendar and there's something in there that is broken. You need to fix your life if every day you are stressed out. And then step number 3 is schedule for success. So your habits will dictate your success. Your actions need to map to your ambitions. What balance looks like for you needs to be reflected in your habits. you can say, here's what balance looks like for me, but if you're not living it, you're not going to be happy, and you're going to run out of energy, and you're going to burn out, and you're going to start to hate your life. So what does a balanced life look like for you? How much time do you want to spend with your family, with your significant other, on your business, on yourself, personal development, working out, singing, hobbies, dancing, friends, whatever it is that you want to do? What does a balanced life for you look like? And this is something that only you can judge. What I do, what The Rock does, what Sadhguru does, what Dan Locke does, what anybody that we profile, whatever they do, what Elon Musk does. Don't compare yourself to Elon Musk and his schedule. You can use his schedule as guidance, as an idea, as here's something that somebody is doing that is possible, but maybe that's not for you. You try on the hat, and then you see. So you have to decide, what does balance look like for you? And then take out your calendar every day of the week from Sunday to the next Sunday and put everything in. Here's how much time I want to spend on these different activities. Because if you want balance and it looks like this, and then you look at your calendar and it's totally different, you're going to run out of energy and not like your life. Schedule for success. Hard work is your ticket in. It doesn't guarantee your success. There are tons of people who work hard and are living at the poverty line. But there is nobody who wins and doesn't work hard. Working hard is your ticket in. One of the biggest reasons why I've won on YouTube is because I've been making 3 videos a day for the past 5+ years. 3 videos a day for 5+ years. There have been 1 or 2 days where maybe I missed 1 video, not 3 videos, not an entire day off, maybe 1 video once or twice in 5 years. That's it. It's just been a testament to consistency. Every single day, videos have to go live on the channel. And I filmed through everything. I've filmed through having broken my neck, right, in 2 spots. I've filmed through having a concussion. I've filmed through being sick. I've filmed through completely losing my voice and then having to pull up pieces of paper with the notes written on it. I've filmed through everything. I think there's a lot of people who I look up to, who I think are way better than me, people who have way more talent than me, who are way more natural than I am at making videos and expressing themselves. And I've passed them because I just worked harder, because I just kept going, because I kept making the content. One of the biggest reasons why you are not more successful is you're just not consistently working hard enough at it. This game of entrepreneurship, whether you're trying to be a YouTuber or something totally different, it's, are you getting up every single day and doing the thing that you have to do? Because you're gonna get punched in the face. There's gonna be so many setbacks. Even today, this morning, my wife had a rough night last night. She had allergies. She woke up at 4 in the morning, had to take some pills, and just had a really rough night. And that set us back on our morning routine. Right, we have our morning routine. We go through our 5.5 S's every morning. We start off with singing. We'll put some music on, then sun, then soar, and then sweat, and then scare. And we got set back by half an hour by her having a late night. And this is where so many people fall down. When you have something that throws you off schedule, right? When you're sick, when life hits you in the face, when a distraction comes up, an emergency happens, how do you respond? Because if you only work hard when you have ideal conditions, you're never going to build a great business. We were set back half an hour today, right? What do? The same 5.5 S's. Let's go. How you respond matters. And so, whatever's happening in your life right now, there's so many reasons why you can't win. There's so many reasons why you shouldn't get up and work. Lots of reasons. Reasons that are justifiable. The reasons not to work on your business are justifiable. And if you ask your friends who are non-entrepreneurs, or at least non-successful entrepreneurs, they'll let you off the hook. Tell your friends, yeah, I lost my voice. Like, oh, you can't make videos. You tell your friends, I broke my neck. Oh yeah, you can't make videos. Right? They'll let you off the hook, but these are not the people who have standards that you aspire to. Don't allow the low standards of your friends prevent you from doing the thing that you should be doing. And so how you respond to these emergencies and these life situations that happen matters. It means something. You, with less talent, right? You might be introverted. You might have less talent. You might have less skills. You might not be naturally gifted at it. You can win. This is how you win, by working hard every single day. Are you proud of your effort? When I was still on my tour, even though I broke my neck, my quality wasn't as high post breaking my neck versus pre breaking my neck in terms of doing the workshops, but I was proud of my effort. Are you proud of your effort? And if you can sustainably say that you're proud of your effort, if you can wake up every day, you know, my wife is tired today. She'll take it a little bit slower today. But is she proud of her effort? Are you proud of your effort? If every day you wake up and then you do work and you're proud of your effort, I promise you you're gonna win. If you can sustain that for weeks, for months, for years, you'll win. Where the problem for too many people is you're working really hard one day and then you fall back, and then really hard one day and then you fall back. And that applies not just to entrepreneurship, it's life. You're really hard working on your diet and then you fall off. You're really hard working out in the gym and then you fall off. It's the consistency that matters. It's the working hard every single day. You are what you consistently do, and I want to see you guys win. Okay, great. So how do you actually develop a brutal work ethic? I'm going to give you a 3-step process you can follow. Let's do it. Step number 1 is you have to do something you love, right? I mean, you can only force yourself to do something that you hate for so long before you give up. Of all the people that I profiled, right, consistently across athletics to entrepreneurship to politicians to musicians, singers, all across the spectrum, people who've had success, the number one rule that keeps coming up over and over and over and over again is they love what they do. You have to enjoy the process. You like the work. I like making videos. I like speaking to entrepreneurs, right? I like it. If you are forcing yourself to do something that you hate, you will quit. You just will. It's going to be too hard. And so why spend all this time doing work that you hate, just chasing some opportunity, when you could actually focus those efforts on something you love to do and get results that nobody else can? You have to do stuff that you love. Number 2 is tell yourself that you do difficult things. This is how you build self-love. This is how you build self-confidence. This is how you build self-respect. You do difficult things. You like to do difficult things. And it's not just a mindset trick, like you actually do. You don't want to live the same life over and over and over and over and over again. You don't want a boring life. You don't want to just stay inside your comfort zone. And so to leave your comfort zone, that requires doing difficult things. And so whenever you're looking at a challenge that's in front of you, you're looking at a goal that's in front of you, you're looking at an outcome that you're trying to go after and chase, what's the reason that you're telling yourself why you can't do it? If it's, well, it's difficult, that's not an acceptable reason. Catch yourself. And ask your friends and your family, the people close to you, to catch you too. Anytime that you say, well, that's hard, that's difficult, and you do difficult things, you need to change the wiring. You like doing difficult things. The fact that it's hard makes it amazing. You don't want to do easy things for the rest of your life, do you? Do you want to just do easy things for the rest of your life? No! You want to do difficult things. You love difficult things. So watch the language. Watch the words you're telling yourself. Watch your thought process. If the reason why you're not achieving your goals is because it's hard, it's difficult, that's not a good enough reason, because you do difficult things. And then idea number 3 is be the tree. I love using this analogy. The idea is you're a tree. You're an entrepreneur. You're a tree. What do trees do? Well, trees, they breathe in carbon dioxide, right? Poison. They breathe in carbon dioxide. If you have too much as a human, you will die from carbon dioxide. They breathe it in. They eat it. Right? They eat it, they grow from it, and then they spit out positivity, oxygen for the world. That's your job. That's your job as a leader. That's your job as an entrepreneur. Your job is to eat the negativity, to eat the poison, to eat the difficulty, and then create something better for the world. It's service. Whatever this challenging thing is that you have to deal with, whatever you're trying to work so hard on, whatever you need to develop a better work ethic on, when you do it, you'll be able to help other people do it as well. And if you believe, like I believe, that humans are built to serve, then you're going to be able to help other people, because your purpose comes from your pain. Because the thing that you struggle the most with, once you figure it out, once you get through it, what will make you come alive for the rest of your life is helping other people who are currently going through that thing. So you're a tree. This is what you're meant to do. This is what you're born to do. This is what you love doing. You're supposed to breathe in the poison, eat it, grow from it, and then make the world around you a better place.
The people who win work the hardest because they love what they do. They put in the hours and the hours and the hours and the hours for days and days and days and weeks and weeks and weeks and months and months and months, and years and years and years, because they love it, because it's not work for them. The only way you're going to be willing to put in the work that is necessary to win, to be the best in your industry, the only way you're going to put in that amount of work is because you love what you're doing. And if you don't, you're gonna lose. Because there's gonna be somebody who will love it, who loves it more than you, and will crush you. And you'll be not even a number 2, you'll be mediocre. Because there's lots of people who love what they do. And there's lots of people grinding it and working hard. If you are looking at your calendar, like open up your calendar, look what you're gonna do today, or look what you're doing tomorrow. What's on the schedule? If you're looking at it and you're like, oh, I gotta do all these things. If that's your reaction, you might be in the wrong business. Now, if it's a one-off thing, if it's a one day, you gotta deal with the government or something, fine. But if that's daily, if that's consistent, if that's always happening, if you continue to look at your calendar and you're upset and depressed and angry, you're in the wrong business. The work should feel like something exciting to go and do. Where other people might jump into your schedule and say, that's crazy, I could never do that. That's great, that's why you're not crushing it like I am. Like go crush it in your field, go do your thing. As an example, here's one change that I've made to my YouTube channel. You may have noticed this month, the video series look a little different. I'm working with a videographer, Jason, and the only way we can make this thing work was if we did it on one day. So I used to film my videos once a week on a Wednesday for the week. And Jason works by the day. So, okay, you know what? I want to increase the quality of the videos. I want it to look more Hollywood. Do we look more Hollywood? Is it looking nice? Do you guys like the quality? Give a thumbs up for Jason down in the comments. And the way to make it work was to do it once a month. And so I'm sitting here filming my videos for the month. We're doing like 70 videos in one day, grinding them through. I've got 2 extra large coffees. Got one sitting behind here. I'm halfway through that. And here's the thing, to make this work, it's a lot of extra pressure on my team to get a lot of things ready and sooner and faster, right? So my team's been working extra hard to get it ready for this one time, and if we continue it, it's their usual job. It's not as stressful or hard. I'm thinking about them. I don't want them to stress out too much. But really, the person who has the hardest is me. Because for me, it's not just a one-off thing. This is now going to be every month. Like, do I have the ability to stay on, to have energy for an entire day? Can I get through making 70 videos in a single day? I don't know. But when Jason and I are on email, we're trying to figure this out, and I look at how hard it was going to be for me to be on camera for that long, I'm like, I got to do this. This is awesome. I might crash and burn and like it doesn't work out and it totally fails and I can't handle the length and the time, but I want to try. Where so many people have a hard time making 1 to 2 videos a month. Here we are making 70 in a day, crushing it all down. And I love it. It's hardest on me versus anybody else on my team, but I don't even think about it because I love the challenge. I love the ability to work that hard and see if I can do it and see if it makes sense for what we're trying to do. What do you guys think? You like these videos like this? You want more of it? Let me know, leave a comment. And so in thinking about that, I don't think that I'm super special, by the way. I just found the thing that I love doing. I'm willing to put in this kind of hustle and work because I love making the videos, because I want to create more and better content for you guys. You could put in that same amount of drive, energy, hustle that I'm doing today in your business. But it's not going to happen if you look at your schedule and like this. I was looking at my schedule last night and I'm so excited about tomorrow. I'm so excited about tomorrow. I'm so excited. I can see how it goes. Let's try to crush it, right? And again, not every day is going to be super amazing, but you should love the work that you do net. You should be excited about the day that is ahead, net, and not feeling sad, depressed, angry, frustrated about the work that you have to do. The people who win work the hardest because they love what they do.
If you want to sign up for the entire Billionaire Mindset series for free and get the companion bonus PDF calendar, check the link right there next to me. I think you'll love it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.